Evet, merhaba arkadaşlar, nasılsınız, iyi misiniz, afiyette misiniz? Umuyorum ki neşeniz ve keyifleriniz yerindedir. Call of Juarez Gunslinger'e hız kesmeden devam ediyoruz. Bir tek land oyunu. Hiç bekletmeden oyuna başlıyorum. Arcade'de düelloları da hikayeden sonra bakacağım neymiş bunlar diye. Hikaye. Devam et. Daltonlar. Bana ödül avcısı derler bölümün başlığı. Kaç episod acaba oyun? Kendime ses çok açık. Kendime sesi bir tık kısayım.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one.
Bunlar bizden.
The Daltons got it in their heads to rob two
Bu
banks
sefer
at the same
arkadaşlarlayız.
time. Two banks on the same damn street.
Çık önümden lan.
Story was Bob Dalton's
Oğlum niye
was always
atış
writing
yoluma
about
giriyor?
How he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, you'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to court
Adamlar nerede?
just to shut her up.
Right. It's always the
Dal.
one's fault.
Dal.
Well, the locals recognized
Dalsana
the
oğlum.
Daltons right off.
Huy tuşuymuş lan.
Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their
Tamam. Güzel. Güzel.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows.
Öldürmüş müyüz Daltonları?
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very different.
Keşke bu kadar kolay olsaydı be. İlk defa bu kadar kısa bölüm olsaydı YouTube olmaz mıydı? Bence olurdu.
A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. This man had no intention of letting the Daltons slip away. They met an adversary that day who had no fear and offered them no quarter. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait to suck the bitches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. So he went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. From above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
We've got company.
loathed men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Like Jim Bowie.
Is that Silas Greaves?
Son of a bitch! Over there!
That's Silas Greaves.
What the hell? Bland, bland. He came away victorious, taking down those thieving darkness. His name was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened.
Olay nasıldı acaba? Yorumsuz gameplay'imize bugün devam ediyoruz. Bu bölüm yorumsuz devam edecek. Bu gameplay.
I was late to the party and Coffeeville was already up in arms. Daltons blew up a safe, and we're all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies. I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. Finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeeville. Now you're in trouble. Face me, you coward. Oh, now. Shoot, I dare you. You gonna need a cannon. Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeeville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens. Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least two of them to escape. It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Greaves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
Send you to the bone orchard. I'm gonna tear you apart. Gonna beat you like a red-headed stepchild. I'll blow your damn head clean off. You are dead, law dog.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
We'll get those suckers.
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this.
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Bury them in the swamp. Plant them where they stand.
Except for some son bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends. The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
That's right. Run! Run! You think I don't see you? Just kill him, for Christ's sake! Shoot him in the head! Let's see.
Point being, I was under serious attack.
Pissing me off.
And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
Kill Greaves! Can't beat us all! Damn, he's hard to hit. You're really pissing me off. Damn ears are ringing. I'm putting you down.
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view. But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon
La horlama oğlum, horlama, dikkatim dağılıyor lan.
Steve. Steve.
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Engines?
Or Indians.
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
Oh, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son of a bitch! Bounty hunters! Stop that, son of a bitch! So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet, but I did find a few of their cousins. Two Kansans breed like rabbits. Or Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son of a bitch!
Take that asshole out! Captain us all!
But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Take him down!
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son of a bitch!
Surprise!
Bury him in the swamp!
Alton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them. A lot of those paths seem to be leading nowhere. That's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps? Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high, and those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
You just met your man. Come on, kill him! You better hide.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. But it turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle.
After all, is it?
Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Oh, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
We're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how did you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're
what I'm-
talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how did you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys. It was time to settle this once and for all. weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side. They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers. My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told.
Bir sonraki bölüm episod 7. Bakalım başına bir bakalım en azından.
Me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game.
Bu bölüm güzeldi bu arada. Beğeni hak ediyor bu bölüm.
And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me. until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
Bir sonraki bölüm bayağı iyi olacak. Yolunda gitmeyen tren soygunu. Beğenmeyi, yorum atmayı, ihmal etmeyin. Hoşçakalın efendim.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they